Okay, I know that there are some new stuff that I have to do before we start, and the first one is actually um the presence. Okay, just I'm new with this one, but I think it's start. Okay. Now let me just share you the screen. Okay. So I think that you have to scan this. Am I right?
Yes.
Hi, sir. I'm sorry, can you mark me present, please?
Sorry?
Can you mark me present, please? I can't like scan the code, QR codes.
Okay, so I will give you so but it. Mm, so how do I do this? Is this okay. I go here and say present. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
So this is a new this wasn't available in the past.
Hello, Professor. Do you mind showing the QR code again, please?
Okay, yeah. Okay, so where do I okay, it's here. Like this? Is this okay? Expand? Is like this okay? It's changing. That means what? Everyone gets unique QR code or what?
It's working, Professor. So the code is refreshed every several seconds in order for us to not be able send it to our friends who didn't attend the class. More or so like that.
Okay, I understand. So still, so 26 of 48 students present, okay? Can I remove it? Because I see that you're, this is it, okay? So, um, okay, so you know that I come from Slovenia. I have a PhD in business informatics. Um, I started with databases in 2000s. I was a programmer. I'm still programmer. I'm quite heavy programmer. I'm a statistician. I'm data scientist. I did Power BI. I have so many applications in private sector. I mean, really. So I really work. You know, like I transfer everything that I teach to you to the market, and what I see in the market is actually is what I give you. So what market needs, I teach you. So that's why you will get first-hand information what is important and what not. I will try to avoid, you know, like uh, stuff that is not so important. I will now explain you how we will work. Okay, now let's go to the course. Okay, just tell me if you can see the screen. You can? Okay. So we have a Zoom link. So here are the slides. They are actually in my Dropbox. They are HTML slides. In our class, I will teach you how you can create HTML slides with Quarto. Okay. So they are actually, these are R Markdown slides. So they are made in R. And you will be able to do it once we will have R class. Now we have Python class. Okay, so these are the slides. Just download them. I prepared all the questions. So, for example, you have quizzes. Okay, they are just for you to test your knowledge. So that, for example, if you are not able to answer the questions, you just, you know, you have to go in depth in some sort of the content, some sort of the topic in Python. And here I have the instructions for final project. So your course grade will be done with the final project. You will create data analysis. Okay. Here we have quite extensive, detailed instructions how you can actually achieve this, how you can also go beyond what is, like the bare minimum for your positive grade. Okay, just look at this. If it's something that you don't actually understand, just ask me. So this is it. So as I mentioned, your final grade will be made with final project. I will give you also when I will grade your project, I will give you the comments so that you will have text why I decided for a certain grade. Okay, so this is it. I will also give you here the recordings. So I will give you another topic here, the recordings. But I will also probably, as I mentioned before, upload the videos to YouTube so that you will be able, that you will just be able to copy the link to the AI and do the summarization of what we have talked in our course. So that is a huge advantage compared to the live class. Though, um, probably the best one would be that I would give you a live class and I would record a live class. Okay. But unfortunately, this is it. I mean, I hope that you will enjoy our ride together. I guarantee you that you will, if you will follow my instructions, you will be able to acquire a lot of knowledge. Okay. But before we go to the content, I would like to know a little bit of you. So that's why I prepared a short quiz. Okay, let me just go here and okay, let me start presentation. Okay, just go to menti.com or you can just scan the code. If you go to the menti.com, here you have the code so that you can log in. And then, now I will ask you a few questions. I don't know if you are familiar with the menti.com. Probably you are. You are. Okay. So this is my first question. It's not a difficult one. Okay. So Mandarin, because most of you come from China, the majority of you from China. So my video was in Mandarin. I know that you have many different accents and different dialects. So I guess that you all understood my Mandarin. Okay. Now let's go. Okay, so we have two engineerings. So I guess that the engineering, the students that have a background in engineerings also have some programming skills. Uh-huh. 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 Okay. Bachelor of Finance, Master in Data Analytics, Computer Applications. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Data engineer. Okay. Yeah. That was thank you for your answers. Now let's go to another one. Mm-hmm. Uh, I see that most of you said no experience or beginner. By beginner, you mean that you started this year in Neoma. Aha, okay. So this is okay, okay, okay. These are the AI skills. Hmm. Okay. And I think that's aha, okay. This one is the last one, yeah. So what topics in programming or AI are you most interested in? Oh, reinforcement learning. Then, yeah. You know where you have deep reinforcement learning? For example, Tesla uses this. You know that with the version 14.2.3, they are achieving the level 3 or 4 of autonomous driving. So they will launch robotaxis this year. Okay, data cleaning and visualization. Stop. Stop AI from hallucinating. Yeah, well, that's not something that, of course, we can actually influence on this. I will show you how you do the context. You know, the most important is the context that you provide to AI. Machine learning. Well, I'm actually teaching machine learning in Slovenia. NLP, natural language processing, sentiment analysis. I will show you. I mean, this will be, let's say, more advanced topic. How can you can use Hugging Faces for sentiment analysis, cloud deployment. Okay, we will look at this. Okay, the automation that reduce human work. Um, my nephew is 14 years old, 15 years old. Okay. And I said to him, his name is Gal. I said to him, Gal, look, I think that have to start learning the automation and AI. And now at 15, he is able to actually automate the process. He understands the vector databases. He is able to do the automation in a program. I will give you some of the topics that you can learn on your own, which is very important, very lucrative. Okay, for example, let's say that you have emails coming to your company and you would like to already prepare when an email comes, you would like to create a draft of reply to the email based on the knowledge of your of the company's knowledge, documents, and so on. Okay, this can be done. This is, for example, if this is a big company. This can really speed up the process of, let's say, customer service, and so on. Okay, and also what is important is, I mean, what is the difference is if you will go and get the internship in a big company, legacy company, probably they are more rigorous to changes, introvert to changes, okay? So you will probably still working in Excel most of the time. I'm sorry to bring you this news, but this is the fact. I worked for a big French company a few years ago, Castel, which is their company on the IP rights, and they were so, like introvert. They didn't want to embrace new technologies. So everything was done in Excel. And not even online Excel, Excel, desktop Excel, where most of the time the macros that are created with VBA, Visual Basic for Application, which is actually a dead language. Microsoft stopped developing that language 15 years ago, okay? And still they are working in this language. Now they are switching to TypeScript because the VBA doesn't work online. Okay, so now thank you for sharing uh, what you actually um, expect from the course. Thank you for sharing your expertise level. So that will really help me, like setting the pace of our sessions. As I already mentioned, we will have lectures. You have one asynchronous lecture, but I'm thinking that I would still have synchronous lesson instead of asynchronous, but I would like to invite you uh, for more advanced use, where I would show you how you can set up the environment and use AI to code applications, let's say more advanced applications. If you will decide for this option, we will have like 3 hour lecture of 3 hours where we will go more advanced. We will use the Gemini CLI, though in my business life I'm using the Claude Code, okay? But it's very expensive. I mean, it's expensive, but it's the best one. So I would show you how you can actually set up the agents, how you can, with help of the agents, you can create the application all in Python. let's I mean, you should talk to yourself and then give me and come back to me and tell me the decision if you would like to have such a uh, let's say 3 hour session, but we would have to have it more towards the evening because it will not be, let's say, officially on the schedule. Okay, I don't know what your schedule is. So now you have my course. Do you have any other course? Which one? R with Professor Balash. Okay. Do you also that when will you have machine learning course? So
I
it's
think it's the next 2 or 3 weeks, if I'm not mistaken.
uh-huh. Okay, so I'm not sure whether the machine learning course will be done with Python or with RapidMiner. I'm not sure, but I uh, on Monday I stopped. I finished my course in machine learning at the Faculty of Ljubljana, and also the first professor showed the RapidMiner and I went with Python, okay? And with Python, you are so much faster, you can do so much more stuff. And don't worry, whatever we will do, the concepts will be explained, but then we will embrace the AI completely, okay? So no more memorizing the code. Like 3 years before 3 years, you had to memorize the code, and if you encounter errors, you had to go Stack Overflow or to different forums, where then you pray that someone will actually be able to answer your or help you solve the problem. Now you have AI. AI will probably solve any issues that you will have in the code. So it's much faster, like 1,000 times more productive than in the past. Okay? And you have to go with this so that you will be able to be competitive with other people who will apply for internships and for jobs. Also, during the course, these 2 courses, I am available to you 24/7. What does that mean? If you have any problem, any questions, uh, we can schedule. If you cannot solve this over email, we will schedule one-to-one meeting online, okay? So you can always have access to me. I am pretty much always available. Also, I am available when I have dialysis. So on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays, I have dialysis. I'm also available to you over the weekends. So you can also contact me over the weekend. I will respond to you. So don't be afraid. Any questions, ideas, problems, whatever you want to discuss, uh, I am available to you. Okay. So that's also, let's say, a positive side that I am here in Slovenia, but always available to you. Okay. This is now the introduction to how we will work. The second thing, I uh, sent you email yesterday. I don't know if you got it regarding the installation of Whisperflow. Did you install Whisperflow? Have you tried the Whisperflow?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so the Whisperflow is, let's say, I mean, we will be much faster. Like, for example, you can look at my, I don't know, slides, and on the other hand, you can also dictate to the Gemini what you want to do, okay? So Whisperflow actually works in every whatever you will open. It works for mails, I mean in every application. So we will be much, much, much faster with Whisperflow. So you just press Control Shift. I don't know if there is a different shortcut in Mac. But yeah, Whisperflow. So you have 3 months for free. So I don't know if you applied. So if you registered with your student's email, I hope that you did, so that you get Whisperflow free for 3 months. I send you like the link to the education, the students, like where you have to register with the valid students account, and then you get Whisperflow free for 3 months. On the other side, have you applied for Saharsh? No, you had to use your valid students student email, and you will get free Whisperflow subscription. Maybe they have to validate. Okay, you get it free for 3 months. Maybe there is a validation period. On the other hand, I send you the link to the GitHub education, and you have to apply for the GitHub Copilot Pro, which will be free of charge. Did you do it? It takes about 2 days, 2 to 3 days, and then you will be able to use GitHub Copilot. And I will show you how you can use GitHub Copilot also in RStudio. We will not go with RStudio when we'll have our class. We will go with much newer. RStudio is the uh, legacy environment. We will go with Proceed, or what is called. I know it's like Visual Studio. So today we will start working in Google Colab. Okay, I will show you. I will show everything, but till Friday, please install VS Code. Okay, you go. Let me just show it to you. Share my screen. Okay. Go to VS Code. This is the open source AI code editor. Okay. So this is like the way to go. Visual Studio Code is the way to go nowadays. But because we have to have this transitional period, because you don't have any much more experience, you will do this at home. You will install VS Code. Okay. You have like thousands of different instructions. It's pretty much straightforward. And also, okay, so this is the first task for you at home. Install Visual Studio Code, VS Code. And once you will be in VS, and then the other thing will be you have to install Python. But the vanilla, this is the vanilla distribution. So python.org, install it locally. Okay. Just go to downloads. You have, so you see here are uh, the last one is 3.15 download, or let's go 14, install it locally. Okay. And once you will have, I don't think I have VS Code here. Probably not. No, I will also do it because I have it on my other computer. I bought a new computer. And then once you will be in VS Code, you will enable the Python extensions. Okay. So you have three assignments, tasks: VS Code, vanilla distribution, python.org, and enable Python extension in VS Code. This is something that you will do today after the lesson or tomorrow, so that on Friday you will already have this on your computer. So that I will show you how the VS Code is definitely, if you want um, to develop, to be a powerful data scientist, you have to go with VS Code or something similar, or let's say PyCharm, or but not with Google Colab, because Google Colab has limitations, but it is very good for learning. Okay, so this is it. You will go with please install that. It's pretty much straightforward. You can always ask AI for guidance. Now, usually, let's just go to the Google Colab so that I will explain our environment, and then we will add also the first Jupyter notebook to our environment. So we will work in Python. Python is definitely the most, let's say, most used language currently in the world. Okay, much more than R. R is more for academic use, where you do the statistics. You can also do the machine learning in R. You have tidy models. When we will work in R, we will mostly use one special approach called tidyverse. But you also have something for machine learning, which is called tidy models. Python, on the other hand, is the language to learn if you want to do general applications, if you want to do web applications, if you want to create data science applications, machine learning applications, if you want to create mobile applications, and if you want to, last but not least, create AI applications. Okay, you have many frameworks for that. I will only show you the glimpse of the what you can do, and then you will be on your own. I will be available in the future for, let's say, consultations if you would like, if you will bite into this problem or topic. You can always, like write me, and I will try to help you also when in your career. Let's say the students from 4 years, 3 years actually still do write me occasionally and say to me, yes, you were right when you were telling us this and that and that, okay? So you can always refer back to me. Now let's open the Google Colab, okay? So Google Colab is online Jupyter environment, okay? You just uh, use your Gmail applications, okay? So I will say just here new notebook, and I will immediately switch to the English version. So when you go to the Google Colab, under tools, no, it's actually under help, you can switch to English, okay? So now it will be in English. Under help, you have, okay, now it's in English. So you see, this is our environment where we will learn Python. You can also learn R here, okay? You can also learn R. It would be much more effective if also R would be used here instead of RStudio. RStudio is, it's still very good product, but not anymore suitable for the AI times, because the implementation of AI in RStudio is very, very confusing and very bad. Okay. So this will be our environment. So now go to File and Upload Notebook. File, Upload Notebook. Okay. And then go and just drag and drop the Jupyter notebooks that I provided to you. Module 1. You have module 1. Just find it, module 1. You can go browse here and upload it, or you can just do drag and drop, okay? Module 1. Okay, I'm just uploading it. Okay, so this is your module 1 course. Okay, so let me just explain to you what you see. Have you managed to upload the notebook? Just give me thumbs up or just not if you have your camera on. Okay, so what you see here is we have like two types of cells in Google Colab. The first one is the text cell. So this one is the text cell. See, if I double click on it, I can actually do the edit. Okay. The second one is code cell. Here I am writing code. And I also have this run button, run cell, okay, where I can run it. It's all first. Now you will only run the first cell to set up the environment, and then we will talk further. Okay, what else do we have? Here we have table of contents. So you see, I've really did invest a lot of energy to prepare this. I did use AI to help me, but I prepared a lot of exercises. Okay, so once we will go through, we will not be able to cover everything, like because it's too much topic, but you will do this on your own at home, okay? Because I would really like you to go through everything. You have always, you see, for example, here you have exercise. You have exercise and then you have a solution. Always, okay? So you can always do something and then you can just check. So here we have table of contents. We will start with foundations. So how do you actually prepare the environment? Just click on this button here, run cell or control enter so that the environment will be prepared. So now it's executing the environment. Okay, and libraries are loaded successfully, pandas version, numpy version, okay? So now we started to, so this is actually now, we just run it. Control enter, control enter, control enter, okay? On the other hand, so this is a Jupyter notebook that we now uploaded. We uploaded this to Google Colab. So here we can go through everything. On the other hand, I also prepared the slides, which are the same as the Jupyter notebooks, but they are in a form of slides. Okay. So see here we have slides. So we have everything. Okay. These are the slides. So on the one hand, we have slides. On the other hand, we have Jupyter notebook. And if you are actually in doubt, you can always, for example, go to Google Gemini. So I already have here Google Gemini. Gemini.google.com. I have a pro version, but the free version is also okay. Okay. Just go to, okay. By the way, which AI are you using most of the time? Chat. Chat has problems with HTML files. Okay. I'm pretty much more on Gemini and on for coding on Anthropic. Are you familiar with Claude? No. Okay, I will talk about this. So for today, for this session, we will only go with the Gemini. Next time, I will also show you Claude. So every lesson session, we will cover something about. Okay, so if I add my HTML, I will upload my file. Okay, I will upload now my slide, module one. Okay, I'm going to select where is my slides, 2006, so slides, and I will say module one slides, okay? I will say open, so the slides are here, and I will say, based on or slides, please provide me summary of module one. What are the most important topics covered? And okay, so I don't know why I am actually typing. I will ask Whisperflow. And if you are not sure if this is okay, then please add different topics. But please pay attention that I'm only the beginner. Okay, so now you see the Whisper flow actually uh, created text, and I will just press enter. Oh, this is in Slovenian. Okay, sorry. I would have to tell him. Okay, do it in English language. Okay. So you see, voila, we got the summary of our module one. Okay. And not only this, now look, now pay attention. Okay. This is actually what is in module one summary. Now I will, okay, so here I have captions. I will remove captions. I will go under the tools and I will click guided learning. Okay. So this is guided learning, and I will say, okay, based on the summary, please create me guided learning for these topics. Okay, and then it will guide you. For example, if you miss something, you see, for example, the basics of data, the interaction, the logic. Can I just say, let's go with the first one. Voila. Okay. And then, for example, if something is not okay, or you would want to do this more, um, even if the summary in words, in text is still too long for you, okay, you can switch to create images and say, create infographics from this. So the Nano Banana, which is the best model for creating images right now, Nano Banana Pro. Okay, so you see, now it created me the infographics. So I can see, okay, this is integer, this is float, this is string. Okay. And not only this, you can then click on dynamic view, which is a new chat. Okay. And I will say, now watch this. Okay, due to demonstration purposes, I have here students of Master Data Science. Please advise me and create a demo application where we will use a dynamic view. The application has to be referring to data analysis. Now it will create a demonstration, but for example, this can be used. Let's say that you have data, I don't know, in Excel. You can just upload the Excel data here, and with dynamic view, it's still buggy because this is still in preview. Okay, this is still in preview. It's a little bit buggy, but for example, you can just, like upload data and say, okay, analyze my data and do the EDA, exploratory data analysis, and show me where, I don't know, the missing values are. Okay, so it will create, like you see, it's actually creating the linear regression in our case. So, okay, it's still working, but sometimes it's a little bit buggy. But it can actually, like every topic that you have, every topic, like, again, I will go to new chat and say dynamic view. Okay, please help me start with Python. Do the view regarding the basics of Python. So like in the past, the role of me was actually to give you, okay, you have to do this, you have to do that. Now, actually, you don't need. You see, I mean, for God's sake, this can go and teach you much better than any human can do, because you can always adapt adapt the style of teaching to your needs. You see? You don't actually need me. You need me just to tell you, okay, you can use this, and please try to learn that. I just have to give you the goals and the tools, and then you are on your own. I think that the traditional way of teaching is that. No way anyone can adapt the style of teaching to every person, single person. I mean, look, that it was done just by pressing Control and Windows shortcut and dictating what I would like to do, and it's done. And I can start learning, like data types. I mean, do you understand in what times are we living? That traditional ex cathedra of teaching is dead. No way, no one, no teacher can do better than this. For example, if you then, like, if you miss something that I will say, you just go here and say, okay, you will have a recording. You will do the summary. If you will think that something you don't understand, some topic, you will just get the summary and create this interactive lab and say, please focus on this and explain me more, create more questions, create more examples, create more tasks. By the way, do you know where the Python name comes from? It's not from the snake, but from Monty Python. Not from the snake, but from Monty Python. Okay. So see, this is like, I mean, it's really, you are here and then who can, I mean, how much time would I need to actually create something like this manually? Now just okay, let me okay, I will do something, yeah, so that I will give you the power. uh Create a pandas data frame with 100 rows with 7 columns, where one column would be dependent variable, for example, bike buyer, not bike buyer, and other columns should be something that usually influences the buying process. Okay, I will put this into Canvas. It should be done in Pandas data frame. Okay, so now it will create a random. Okay, so this is you need now we have a random data set. Okay, let me see if um can you produce no the final results, not the code, but the results. So I would like to have the results. Okay. So now we have what 100. rows and okay. Now I will, can I copy this somewhere? Print, no. Okay, let me try to copy. And now I will go and do new and go to dynamic view. And I will say, based on this data, create analysis of the data. The bike buyer is dependent variable. Try to go with simple methods and also try to produce more advanced methods. Now we'll copy. Okay. So just imagine you would have like Excel or CSV file that you would like upload. Okay. Sometimes, as I said, it's a little bit buggy, but still it will, if it doesn't work in the first time, then you have to, rerun it. Okay, so here I expect the simple descriptive analysis correlations, advanced predictive, you see, raw data sets. So, of course, if you would have like millions rows, you could not go with this one. Okay, you would have to go with your own analysis. But if you have, for example, like 1,000 rows, drag and drop, you just say, okay, I would like to analyze this, do the missing analysis. Okay. So we have it. Okay, so simple descriptive analysis. Okay, so you see, uh, visual correlations. I mean, okay, advanced predictive model. So you see the income has the highest influence. You can now play here, okay, with, so you see this is already machine learning, let's say machine learning model behind the scenes. So you can predict the profile, okay. So what you can see, if the commute distance, if you are very short, I mean, if you're very near your, let's say, where you have your job, you see it's a high chance of buying bikes. If the distance is higher, of course, you will not come with bike, but with car because it would took too much time, okay? It would take too much time. So what do you think about what I've showed you now? Do you still think that, I mean, I need your honest opinion. Do you still think that traditional way of teaching and analyzing data is still up to date? No, it's not.
I believe right now I even question myself if AI can do this, then what is my role in the work field later on?
Okay, yeah. I have, Talita, I have the same problems. I would not like to spoil your future, but the two Nobel literates, Geoffrey Hinton and Demis Hassabis, the first one was this called the Godfather of AI. The second one is the Chief Executive Officer of the Google DeepMind, who is actually behind this. Well, they predict that the work in the future will be optional. We will have this transitional period where we will still work, but people who will not be able to be productive, like who will not be able to use all these tools, like I showed you. For example, now just imagine having a traditional data scientist who will start analyzing data, like in traditional way, go into our imports, then do the exploratory data analysis. It would take him like 2 or 3 hours. So what we needed, what, 30 seconds? Okay. So in this meantime, um, you will be competitive if you will know all these tools. And my job is to actually teach you, guide you through this process. And I think that with this kind of knowledge, you will be top 1%, not top 1%, top promile percent, top promile, okay? Definitely. Because I see, for example, when I look at my colleagues and people and students and say, okay, I see where usually I would put myself, okay? I would definitely put myself not in one promile, but even less people in Slovenia or even, like are so into the AI than I am. And when I speak to my colleagues who are still, like I come from the computer faculty, faculty of computer science, and they still think, like they're computer guys, and they are so dug into the sand that they don't understand that probably one of the first occupations that will be eliminated is the occupation of a high school, not high school, of the university professor. Teaching, not research. Research will still be done in this intermediate period, but probably when we will encounter general artificial intelligence, then also the basic knowledge will be done with AI, and then the humanity probably will not have anything to do much, will not have to do much. Because what? AI can do much faster, much cheaper than a human. It doesn't sleep, it doesn't eat, it doesn't have bad days. Okay? So, yeah, I know it is hard to process all of this. And believe me, I don't have kids on my own, but I have a nephew and niece, and I'm very worried about them, the future of them. Very worried. I hope that the human kind will find a way, uh, like to completely redefine this social contract in society because like in the past when we had like big scientific breakthroughs, usually we went from the farming to industrial sector, from industrial sector to IT sector, but now we don't have any more sectors in where we can like transition. So that's why my job is to actually give you the knowledge of this state-of-the-art knowledge of AI and the data science and the Python, though the Python will be something that you will look by yourself, okay? I will just give you goals and then I think that you will be probably really top student when you will finish my course, okay? So now I suggest break for 15 minutes and then we will go into Python. We will explain the the history behind the Python, how we will go around in Python environment. You already have 3 home assignments and okay. So see you in 15 minutes. Okay, I'm
Hello,
back.
Professor. Can you help me to sign in? I have trouble when scanning the QR code.
Aha, okay.
Thank
Immediately.
you.
So it's Zanglu.
Yes, I'm at the bottom of the page.
Mm-hmm. I did it.
Thank you.
Okay, so now it's time to embark to our Python. As I mentioned, uh, we will cover the basics, and then at home you will, for example, do the summary and just go through the quiz that you have in Moodle. So Python is definitely the way to go. The language, if you are a beginner, it is the language to go. Not R, but Python. Though previously, I first learned R before Python, but Python is definitely the way to go, okay? Uh, Probably for now it will be a little bit overwhelmed because you are a beginner or maybe intermediate and you are learning two different languages side by side. Maybe this isn't the most optimal, but actually, I was the one who uh, persuaded Professor Aleš Popovic to actually give you one course in a whole program of Python. Because previously we only worked in R, but I got a feeling, even before this happened, all this AI revolution, that Python should be the one, actually the language to go. Especially because of the variety of things that you can do in Python, but you cannot do in R. Okay, just one example is that you cannot create executable file in R, but you can do it in Python. So you can then send Python distribution to other people where they can use actually your solution, desktop solution. So actually, I persuaded Professor Popovic to give me 15 hours of Python so that I give you the glimpse of Python, okay? Which is very important. You will work more with Python than in R in your. Uh, Most of the code that the AI will write will be probably in Python, not in R. And also, if you look the AI is much more powerful in Python than for R because that's logical because more code on GitHub is in Python. Another thing that you have to do is you have to register for GitHub, but probably you already did because you did register for GitHub Education. So you have your GitHub repository. Okay, I will just share it to you. Let me just see where. Okay. So I am sharing the right screen. Yeah. Okay. This is definitely. Okay. I will do this next time. So you have your repository. Here you will upload all your work, okay? Because this will be, let's say, like your passport to the future employees. So you will say, okay, I did that. Look at my repository. Okay, I will go to take my phone. Okay, authenticator. And it's GitHub. Okay. 538099. Okay, so this is where you will have all your stuff. Let me go to my repositories. You see, these are my repositories. Some of them are private. Most of them are public. That means that also you can see my repositories. And the GitHub is definitely the way to go. You can create here, for example, you will create a new repository, say new, and say Neoma, which group are you? Which group? G what? Or something?
I think it's G20.
G20, okay. G20? Okay, so then I decide, here I can add description. Then I decide this will be, okay, this will be my public repository and I will create repository. In order to make it work, you see, you have to create a branch. I will not go into this with you, but if you will work only you, then branches, oh yeah, they are important, but for now, we will skip this part. And the only second thing that you have to do for this to make it work, you have to create a dummy file so that you will create a branch. This is the easiest way to go. Here you just say create a new file and you say dummy and commit changes. That's it. And your repository is ready for your work. Okay? New repository, create new file, create new repository, and then once the repository is created, you have create new file. You create just dummy. I just wrote dummy, and that's it. Now this is now ready for your files. I mean, this is now ready for connecting your Google Colab with GitHub. Okay, so we will now connect Google Colab with your GitHub account. Are you ready? Okay, when you are in Google Colab, are you following? Okay, under File, Save As, save a copy in GitHub. So you will have to connect now. You will have to, so File, Save As, save a copy in GitHub. And then you have to actually, like tell him, okay, I want to go. You will have to connect now your Google Colab with your GitHub. You will have to just allow it to connect. Are you able to do it? Yes or no? Okay. And then you will save your file in your first repository. So I have Neoma G20 main branch and okay. Now you see here, this is your first file in your repository, in your first repository. So for example, when you will apply for internship, you will just, for example, in your CV, copy, paste link to your repository where you will have all your projects listed, okay? See, now this is part of the repository. Have you managed to connect it and save it? Does anyone have any problems?
I'm still waiting for
Verification.
oh yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay. So this is one time job, okay? Once you will verify your GitHub account, then you will always be able to just save it wherever you are. So everything that we will do, you will save it here. Okay. Can I continue? Now let's talk about our environment. As I already mentioned before, we have a text cell, we have a coding cell. We already ran this one so that our environment is ready. So, as I mentioned, Python is the most widespread language you can think of. Everything you can do, it can be done also in Python. The beauty of this environment that we are right now is that we are hosting on the Google. You see, this is here. You can see how much RAM and disk is given to you. You have less disk probably because I'm paying for my subscription. How much RAM and disk do you have? Like me or less? You have the same. Okay. So you see, pretty much this is um, very generous from Google. Okay, 12 gigabytes of RAM. So this is, let's say, pretty much fine. Okay, probably more than the average desktop computer nowadays. Also, what you have here is you can under files, you can connect, you can mount. You see, uh, here you can upload data. So you can upload data to session. If you go under files, you can upload it. But the problem of this is this is only for one time until the session lasts. So if you would restart computer, you would have to upload the file again because it stays in session only when the session is active. You can also mount your G drive. For example, you can upload your data to G drive and then access to G drive. That is good. That is very important because most of the AI can access to your G drive, have the possibility to access the G drive. So, for example, I can mount my G drive. You see, uh, okay. Now it's inserting the code to mount from G drive. So now I'm just running the code. I'm connecting to my Google G drive. Say yes. Continue. Okay, select all. Though this probably wasn't the best idea. And now I will be able to, okay. No, 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 no. Okay. The drive is here. Okay. So you see, my drive is here. I can access to all my documents in my drive. Okay. Everything. In the Colab notebooks, you can already know are all these what I'm doing here in Google Colab. Everything is here. Have you managed to connect it? So for example, if you will have larger data set and you would not like a few megabytes, you will not want to upload it every time. You put it into your G drive and then you go under files and mount G drive and you can access, okay, the data. As I mentioned before, how you can run the cell, you can click on this run, okay? Like in my case, you can go run. Here under runtime, you can say run all, run before. You see? For example, if I would go somewhere down and I would say here run before. So all the tests before this cell will be run. Okay. Is this clear? Is this, I mean, this is like really, for example, you can also use the shortcut like Control Enter. You see, with Control Enter, I am executing the current cell. Control Enter. With Alt Enter, I am executing the current cell and I am opening a new cell. Okay, so for example, if I'm here and I press Alt Enter, I'm executing the printing and then I'm already opening a new cell. Okay. Here you see with arrows, you can move the cells up and down. Okay. If you are not satisfied with you can also delete the cell here. Okay. Okay, with the shortcut Control Shift and Space. Okay. I will just close this one. Aha, dismiss. Now I'm calling my okay, so currently Gemini. Okay, toggle this one Gemini, and it said I don't know why Control Shift and space didn't work. Okay, sometimes still doesn't work. So with you can call or clicking on this icon, you can call Gemini. By default, you see here we have 2.5 flash. I mean, it is enough for our work. It is enough for our work. 2.5 flash. Enough for our work. Though, if you have more advanced features or something like that, probably you should upgrade it to Pro. But for our work, this will be okay. Okay? So every time when you will encounter any problems, for example, I will now add a code and I will say, first number, and I will say like 21, and then I will say second number, I will say 20, and I will say first number plus second number. Okay. And I will run it. I will give an error, okay? And here you can always click on explain error. This will explain you what the hell is going on, okay? So I already know, for example, already from this type error, I can see what is wrong, but for beginners, sometimes you will not understand this. You can just click on explain error and the Gemini will explain what's wrong. Okay, it's working. So you see, and it says, and already suggesting, so here it says, explains what the error is. Okay, means you're trying to add string and the integer together. And already in my cell, he is proposing two changes, deleting this first number plus second number and adding what is in green is actually adding is print, and here it says integer of the first number. So it actually changes this function int, changes the string to numeric, okay? And I can just say, okay, yeah, change it. And it says 41, you see? And I can say to him, explain, okay, explain the int function. Okay, because it used int function and now it explains me what the int function does. Okay, is this clear? Uh-huh. Okay. Vanish Patel, I will. Just a second. Mm, it's done. Okay, so this is the wave. Every time that you will encounter any problem, you can just invoke Gemini. See here, just try and accept, okay? So that it deletes what is in red and adds what is in green. Okay? Do you understand everything I'm telling you now? Maybe thumbs up or something like that would be nice so that I know that you understand. Okay. Another thing. Okay, we now here we have data. Also here, when you are in Jupyter Notebook, you can ask uh, Gemini, please, okay, again, please explain f-string and do some examples of f-string in my cells. Okay, enter. Okay, so now you see it actually created the explanation of f-strings and did bunch of the examples, okay? For example, if I run this one, you understand. Uh, so, you know, like when you are printing out, in Python something, you just say print and say hello. Okay, this is like the most basic probably statement that you can create in Python. Print hello. Okay, and then okay, you can also add print um okay, I have my name is, okay, and I would like to add here, for example, a new variable called my name. Okay, and I would say my name like this one. Okay, so my name Uroš and print my name is plus Uroš. see, it says my name is Uroš. Okay? But this is not the optimal way of printing stuff in Python. We have f strings. For example, why is this important? Let's go to the new cell. Okay, no. I printed. What a rookie mistake. Okay, I will say, let's go to new cell, like this one. If say my age. Okay, you already see how you have to name the variables. So in Python, we are using that like this snake principle, okay? The name of the variable already has to tell you what you will actually save into this variable, okay? So not like this, like A50. This is not the way to go. Always name the variable into something that you already know what you gave it a metadata. So I say 50. So I say my age 50, okay? You know that this variable saves the age, my age, okay? So if I would then say print I am plus, okay, already the AI is doing the right way, but I want to do it in the wrong way. Plus, and I would say, okay, let's go with this string my age plus years old, okay? So you see, in that case, I had to change the integer, because this is a number, into the string. Do you understand this? So I cannot take something that is string, character, and concatenate it with number. I would get an error in this case. You see? I'm getting an error. It has to be string. But this, you see, when you are actually printing out or many variables, it gets problematic. I mean, it's not the most optimal. That's why we have this called f string. So instead of like changing, transforming, concatenating, I'm just saying, okay, this will be f string, like f. And I'll say I am, and then in curly brackets, and the problem now is that I have a new keyboard. I say my age, years old, okay? So I don't have to do concatenation. I'm just using the curly brackets and it works, okay? So this is f string that is explained here. Do you understand the logic? So this is very powerful, f string. Very powerful. You just go with curly brackets. You will use probably curly brackets most of the time because it's so much more optimal compared to doing the concatenation, casting to other data types. Okay, this is one thing. Another thing that you will probably have problems, and it's sometimes very, for the beginners, it's difficult to embrace. For example, if I would say my surname, would be something like McAllister, okay? You see that I'm using the quotes inside of quotes, okay? So you cannot use it like this. If you would go with single quotes, this will not work. Okay? It doesn't work. So in that case, you have to combine the double quotes and the single quotes. Okay? Or this isn't okay. Like in this case, I'm using here the double and here the single. Okay, but this is not semantically correct. Okay, so if you have quotes inside of quotes, you have to combine single and double quotes. That is definitely the way to go. Another thing, when you are doing the comments, okay, you starting the comment in Python is with this, with hash. Like this is a comment, okay? Okay. This is the second comment. Okay, like this. But sometimes you will, for example, I would say here, create, okay, create a random 10 sentence text of 10 sentences. Okay. Because this, you know, what works here also works in Python script. So that's why I'm showing this to you. So how do a large comment? Okay, so I will copy this. Now, for example, if I paste it now, you see, okay, it put everything into the same, come on, in the same line. But if you would have this in more lines, then it's very time consuming to actually add hashes to every line. So that's why in Python, when you have comments that spread over more than one line, you are using like not only comments but also the text. For example, this is a large text. Okay. So if I now copy again, but if I go into different, you see, different rows, I have problems. Okay. You see, this is problematic. Though this is one string, but because it is spread over more than one row, it is problematic. That's why you have to use like 3 double quotes and it works. That's one of the, let's say, tricks that you have to use. Okay, so you see 3 double quotes at the beginning and 3 double quotes at the end, and then you don't worry whether how many rows of text do you have. Okay, let me just go one down so it's more visible. Okay, like this one. Okay, as I mentioned, with just single quotes, with double quotes, single double quotes, it doesn't work. You have to use 3 double quotes. Do you understand this? Okay. Another important thing for the beginners is to understand the data types. Okay, you understand what? You have strings in R, also in any other probably language. What? You have numeric, but numeric can be divided into what?
Integers, decimals.
Float?
Yeah.
Float. Okay. Now let's I will that is very important because in banks this is problem. Okay, explain the difference between float and numeric in Python. Do two examples which will show the problems that can occur if we are using float instead of the numeric data type. Okay? Do you see how much faster am I with WhisperFlow than typing? WhisperFlow also works in many other languages. You know that. You can set a WhisperFlow to do the examples in Cell with Python code. WhisperFlow actually really okay, so okay. Now they changed this a little bit. Skip. Okay, setup. Continue. Finish. So settings. So you see here, these are the languages that are actually supported with WhisperFlow. You can also click auto detect so that you are changing, for example, you can dictate in your language, then in English language, okay? So that's really good. Go to settings, languages, okay? You can also change the keyboard shortcuts. Okay, but let's go back to no, sometimes you see please create example with calculation where you will show how the float and numeric can cause problems, how the float can cause a problem, especially in some calculations. Okay, let's see what will be produced. I know that I already have this example here, but I wanted to okay, so it says it will provide me the examples, and then, oh, yeah, okay, I have it. Okay, unexpected comparison results. So we have 0.1, 0.2, okay? And we expect what? If we do the summarize sum of these two, we get 0.3. Okay? Now run it. Now you see here the expected sum and the actual sum. Look at this one. Why? Because this is actually by default fault, you see? binary representation of decimal numbers. Cannot be exactly in binary floating point. They are stored as very close approximations. When you add these approximations, the result is another approximation that might not be identical to the approximation of 0.3. So because of that, COBOL was the first popular language in bank sector, due to this floating point. Just imagine having this, like you have large transactions and always there are some errors. Okay, now let's look at this one. Okay, is error repeated using float? So you see the addition accumulates. So that's why banks actually lost money when they were using float. So you see, sum of 0.01 was added 10 times as float. So this 100 times. So you see, this was actually the sum. Just imagine having like huge transactions. This will be problem. So that's why when you are working with decimals, you have to definitely use numeric data types, decimals. Propose solutions for this kind of problems. Okay, now it's working. Okay. So when you are having like really important application, when you are dealing with numbers, you will have to use something like this. See? Okay. It is 0.3. So that's why the COBOL was the first language that was used in banks. Any questions regarding this? Do you understand what we have covered till now? Do you understand how you can use AI to help you go through this Google Colab? Would you like to add something? Okay. Now I will say to him, so this is simple. So F strings, very important. And now let's do one interaction with user, okay? We will add a new cell. And always, as I mentioned before, always use the name of, I will say, equal to inputs. Okay, so this is actually, this will ask you for your input, and then we will say print. Now the AI will kick in. My name is, okay. I will go with F string. My name. Okay, so here you have a very small box. I will say Urash. I'm printing, you see, and my name is Urash. Okay. So let's look at another important thing. When you will install, you will see, as I mentioned before, you have to install VS Code and the vanilla distribution. When you will install Python, it is the same as with R. You only get some system packages, system capabilities, but all other functionalities are stored in different modules. In R, we call these modules packages. So did you already install any additional packages, or you're still working with basic packages that are pre-installed with basic installation?
No, we did install some packages like mylib, and we started working with that.
Aha, okay. You will install packages, you will see. So here in Python, we work with tidyverse. Okay, so well, with Professor Balash. So he's using tidyverse. Okay, so yeah. So you install the tidyverse. Is quite a large package. It has, I mean, tidyverse is let's ecosystem. Okay, so here we have modules. Okay, here we have modules, and like in R, you have to write a library, and then okay, a library, and you will say tidyverse. Okay, this is the R style. So then in this case, you install the whole tidyverse library. Here in Python, you import. Okay, import, let's say, math as empty. Okay, so what I'm doing here, I am importing the library math with all the functionalities. But now, instead of calling math, I'm calling math as empty. So I am actually invoking functions like empty dot something. Tidyverse or R has different, I mean, it's a little bit different regarding this, but still very similar. So for example, I imported math. Okay, so I'm not, okay, now I'm not bothering with your aliases. Okay, let's go with just with math. Okay, so I imported package library math. So if I want to see which methods are available, I'm calling the dir. Okay, so these are all the methods in my math packages, you see? For example, I have math, but then I have to call power. Okay. Okay. Ah. So this is one. So this is the way how you can call a library. The name of the library and then the name of the function. Is this clear? But sometimes, for example, if we go to a random package, and let's look at all these are all the functions, methods in random packages. Okay. Sometimes you will see a different syntax so that it will not, I will now explain that you will not be baffled. Okay. you will see something like this. That means, especially when you have long names, you give aliases. Okay, instead of like calling a random, you call a random now as RD. So instead of calling the random dot and then the function like what is rand integer from 1 to 100, okay, you call it like rd dot rand integer 1 to 100, okay. So we gave alias to the random rd dot rand integer. So this is, sometimes you will see the syntax like this.
So, Professor, if you are opening the directory of any library that we are opening, if you're using the syntax dir open
Mhm.
braces, and if we use math instead of the alias that we have provided, will it give an error or will it open the library in that case?
Well, I mean, if you without alias, if I'm, you mean if I,
Yeah, if I defined math as empty and in the next cell I opened directory of math, MATH.
yeah, okay. So yes, it should be. I mean, usually if you will work with this in VS Code, and if you could give the alias, then the original name will not be recognized.
Okay, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So because you rename it, and in that session, the original isn't name doesn't exist anymore. It's called MD. Okay. I'm thinking the math is empty because I'm not using the math library. I'm using just this random. Uh, okay, this is then you will also sometimes you will see something like this from a random import rand int. I'm dictating everything because this will be important because of the transcripts then later in YouTube, so that it will be available. You will be able to do summarization. Okay, so in that case, what can you, for example, Chien, Chie, I hope that I pronounced your name correctly. Can you explain what I am doing in this case? What happened? What happens in this case? Because I say from random, from library random, import rand integer. Yes, you. Yeah, yeah.
I used the package random to execute a random integer. So
But what do you think that this statement here actually produces? What is the intention of this command?
mm,
So here, if you look here, we imported the whole library,
yeah.
okay? And here we imported only one function. Function, okay? So if we don't need a whole library, we imported only a rand integer from the random, okay? And now calling this function is just like rand integer 1 to 100. Okay, instead of, you see, because I am importing directly function from the random class module. So I don't need to specify prefix here because my function is invoked directly. Do you now, if you now, for example, I can copy. No, I cannot actually. I can probably ask him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now we'll say, please explain the difference between import random as RD, and from random import rand int. Okay, and now it will explain to you what's going on. So you see how smart it is? It knows. Okay, so now you see, here you have all the explanation. Random module into a recurrent namespace becomes available under its original name, random. The second one is import random as RD. What it does, it imports an entire random module, but it assigns it a shorter alias, in this case RD, for convenience. Via the module is now accessible via the alias, okay? And the third one imports only the specified function. The rest of the random module is not directly imported or accessible by its name. I can also, of course, okay, this is, I have to accept, and now I can, no, I cannot actually. This is a text, okay, this is all text. So you see, these are the differences. So you will definitely encounter all three different types of, when you will see some code, Python code, you will encounter probably all three different types of import statement. Sometimes you will even encounter the duplication like this one. You will see like import random as RD, and then from random import rand integer, and maybe rand integer. That means, so you are actually importing the whole package, but also you would like to, directly, especially if, like this rand integer is buried somewhere, like deep in the module, you import also the rand integer separately so that it is available directly to you, okay? I can ask, why is this a practical thing? Okay. So that means that the functions that you will invoke are also directly available, okay? Now it will explain why this is practical. Okay, the explanation wasn't really that let's say, that good. Okay, so sometimes you will encounter that you will see the combination of both. So this is, let's say, here you have much more capabilities regarding how you import functions compared to R. In R, you just say library tidyverse, and then you have all the functions available. This is more optimal. Like if you have big modules and you have like many modules in your application, you want to, for example, save memory, and you will only update functions that you need, not whole module. That's why this is so much more convenient for general programming than compared to R. More optimal. Okay. And also in R you have more than, if I lastly, when I inspected the Metacran, Do you know what Metacran is? Okay, I will explain this to you when we will have R. We had like more than 20,000 packages available. Okay, more than 20,000 packages. In Python, it's like 500,000 packages, modules in this case. You also have, like the most important is PyPy. Okay, so this is no, this is here. This is the let's say place where you can search for all the projects. Okay, and you see how many projects are currently available. Okay, so for example, you have pandas. Okay. Then if you would like to create web applications, you can go with Django, Streamlit. These are all here. Streamlit. See? I mean, this is definitely much more comprehensive programming language compared to R. But R is still a very good language, okay? So, but if you will work with AI, and you will, that's no doubt, you will work with AI, then Python is the way to go. Okay, not R, unfortunately. Though the tidyverse, I really miss something that uh, similar to tidyverse in Python. Okay. Let me go up. So just, like these are more like corner cases. Like when you will encounter, sometimes you will encounter these escape characters, but these are really corner cases, okay? These are really corner cases. You see here, I already explained this to you. For example, he said hi. So I have to combine single and double quotes. Okay? He said hi because I have to combine. I cannot go, like otherwise I will have problems. Then the long text. We talked about the long text. We have to use multi-line strings, 3 double quotes at the beginning, and 3 double quotes at the end. The booleans. Okay, Python is also case sensitive language, just like R. So this is not the correct one. Is student true is not okay. Okay. In R, you are writing with smaller caps everything, true, false. Or with all, I mean, also with capital, yeah. Here you have to go with like this. It is very strict Python. So T with capital T and then all small letters, okay? And always, as I gave you the instructions, the name of the variable has to be meaningful, okay? Just don't do this. A1, B2, C, Alice. Just don't write it like this. Because, for example, if you will share your code, if you will work in a team, and you will define variables like this, the person behind you especially if you are not commenting your code, will have no clue what you're doing here, okay? So that's why it is important that you have meaningful names of variables and also that you comment if it is something special like calculating the sum of all the children in the school. Okay, like something like this. So first child 10, second child 20, and then sum of print sum of children. Okay, sum of children like this one. Okay, always also when you will create your final project, also use meaningful variables. I know that you will use AI, and I definitely suggest you that you use AI for your final project, but that I have enough space, like that I will grade something like this, how you named the variables, are the comments there so that I understand your code. Uh, if there is something more, like this, the X factor, okay? The X factor. So is this clear? Okay. With the type function, this is very important when, for example, sometimes, but AI takes care of this anyway. Sometimes you would like to check, like what kind of a type a certain variable is. So you will use type. Okay? You will use type. So with the type, you are just getting the type, see, integer float. This one is float. String, Boolean, and non-type. Okay? So again, you can do the type detective. You also have here the answers. Okay? Conversion errors. You see? You cannot change. So we already explained you the integer int function, which tries to cast the something, I mean, in that case, 42 as a string to numeric. And of course, it will not work all the time because hello cannot be uh, casted to integer, also not the 3.14, and so on and so on and so on, okay? These are conversions, these are solutions, okay? The modulo operator, okay, this is, we will not, we will use the if statements and the modulo operator tomorrow, but you know what the modulo operator is? Who knows what the modulo operator is? The modulo operator is the remaining of the division, okay? So in that case, we have a number of 7, and we are dividing it with 2, and with the modulo operator, we are then trying to finding out if the remaining part of the division, which of course we know it's 3, and the modulo it's 1, because 3 asterisk 2, 3 by 2 is 6, and the modulo is 1, okay? The remaining part is 1. So we know that if we don't have any part left, it is even number, otherwise it's odd with the modulo operator, okay? Is that clear? Also here we have modulo operator, then we have the exponents and the roots. You see, this is 2 on 3. This is a power function. 10 on 2. Then we have what else? Power of 2, cube root, okay, square root. But we have a square root function, okay? You know, like this is like 16 on 1/2. It's like square root of 16, okay? You know this like from high school, basic stuff. 17 on 1/4 is cubic root from 27. Okay. With the len, you check how long a certain string is. For example, you see here the answer is 13, the len. What is the same, the equivalent function in R? What is the equivalent function in R of the len function in Python? You would go, no, regular expression. No. N char, n character, number of characters. And okay, this is the equivalent function in R. You have also this upper lower title, you see, swap case, how you can actually change. So you have, instead of upper in Python, you have two upper, two lower in R. Two upper and two lower. Here you have some only upper and lower. Okay, we will go through a few of them tomorrow, okay? Because we will do some practical stuff. So we will look at this word slicing and this stuff. We will go tomorrow, okay? But you can always, okay, so here we have F strings. We talked about the F strings. Data reports, dates, okay? Also, as you already know, you can just you can do something like this module. You can here you see you have download, okay, but otherwise you already have it as a Jupyter notebook, but you can always download it, or you can actually print it to PDF. It doesn't have, Google Colab doesn't have option to download this as PDF. Okay, so something is wrong here. Okay, I will just say, no, I want to have, apparently I don't have PDF virtual printer installed. And again, you can go to Gemini, you can upload files. Okay, you can go to Jupyter Notebook, module 1. I hope that this one will work. And now I say, summarize the notebook. Okay, again, I'm typing. Please emphasize what is important for me as a beginner data scientist in Python. I have no prior experiences in Python and very mediocre experiences in programming as a whole. Please give me the summarization and future directions. Maybe also, okay, only that. Okay. So these are the key lessons. F strings. Okay, we didn't look at the date and time, so we will do this, but we will more focus on this on Friday, okay? Because we will start working with data, real data. Now we only went, like this was introductional session. So that's I can all now say okay, now I will copy this. New chat, I will say dynamic view. Based on the pasted content, please provide me interactive learning platform. Just keep in mind that I'm a complete beginner and mediocre programmer, and I need to understand these concepts very well so that I will be able to follow the course. Okay? Okay. You see what I explained to you, salary to X, case sensitive. Okay, still working on other stuff.